When this fucking beat drop, you already know what fucking time it is.
Daily Dose is on now. Check it out, y'all.
So Blueface is renting his mansion for the low price of $2,500 a night. It's actually the Blues Girls Club that's on OnlyFans. Have you guys seen any episodes?
I haven't.
It's a little ratchet.
You saw
love
it?
it.
You
No.
Did you see how we attacked Teddy when we found out he has
Hold
OnlyFans?
on. Wrong. I got a clip. Don't want to say who sent it to me, but I got a clip.
Who sent it to you? Who has an OnlyFans account
If you got
that
a
you know?
Blueface account, send us a clip. We want to see.
Please,
Because
let
Teddy
us
ain't
know.
sharing.
But
All right,
the
listen.
question is, are you renting the
Can
house?
I just say one thing? First of all, I don't have an OnlyFans account. Second of all, he claims to not have had sex with these women. So it means you don't got to worry about any Blueface baby batter just, lying around. You could rent it and enjoy it. It's a clean house.
$2,500 a night.
It's a very important part of history.
Now, something very important is what NLE Choppa said. He said McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell, y'all foul for trying to make vegan food. Do not eat that ish. Buy groceries, cook it yourself, and grow your own food.
I love what he's on right now.
Listen,
NLE is a farmer, a meditator.
He's a friend of the show.
He's
love
rich.
it.
No, he's rich.
No.
Look at me.
He's young.
Look at me.
No.
He's young and he's rich. Do you know how hard it would be for me to grow
Don't do
carrots?
that. Don't do that. Listen. We know NLE. He's really close with his grandparents. This is what he's about. Like, he really means this.
No,
stuff.
he's right. He didn't lie. Not one lie was said. But
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
trying
She's
to
saying
say
it's
is,
hard for
how
us,
much time
city
will
girls.
it take me to grow some carrots and kale in the back? A lot.
Get
But he
to
also
it.
said
Get
on
to it.
Twitter, pick your favorite vegan spot and go there instead.
But being
I like that
a
one.
young, successful, dope, fly hip hop artist, for him to be talking about what he's talking about is great for the youth.
And I believe
We need to
in
be
it.
about health. We need to be about meditating. Go ahead, NLE.
Hey, you're a way better man than I am, bro.
Go ahead,
You're
man. I love
18,
it.
man. Salute to you.
Now, French Montana celebrated his birthday
My
and
guy.
had a very interesting cake.
Legend.
Well, first off, Charisma never brought us a piece of the cake because Charisma was there at the birthday party.
Hey, I don't touch no cakes.
You didn't.
There be all kind of cakes at French's party. You know what I'm saying?
I just think
Okay, let's talk about that cake, the cake topper. Why?
I just think it's kind of weird. Listen, French, you could put so many things. It could have been
Camilla,
like a double platinum
Joe Biden.
plaque. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a picture of the Kardashians because we know how much he used
Was
to love
it
them.
him though, or was it just people who made this cake?
Hey, I was happy about Biden and Kamala winning as well, but would I put it on the cake? I don't know.
No, because you put Kobe on your cake.
Yeah, but well, rest in peace to the black mama. What you
No,
can't-
but
can't
what I'm
put-
trying to say, he's maybe a big fan like you are.
Okay.
You had a Kobe Bryant cake.
Don't say it with a laughter.
I'm just saying,
You know,
like,
you're
these
right.
are the weirdest, like, they're pretty
You know,
weird.
and who am I?
No, rest in peace, Kobe, by all
Right,
means.
right.
But what I'm saying is, like, usually they put a picture of you or your name on there.
Because, somebody like French Montana, that's legendary turn up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You go to a French party, you never know what you're going to
was
see.
lit.
You got to be invited.
And other than charisma, me and you ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? So we have to bring in somebody who knows where it's at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The real mover in the city. We got Angie from the Shade Room.
Hey,
Angie!
the queen!
Good morning, queen. So I guess we're with you. We just let it all out. So what is the craziest thing you've seen at a celebrity's birthday bash? Like rapper, whatever. Because I know
Whatever.
you know
We just
everyone.
want to know.
What's the craziest shit you've seen?
I've been to a couple crazy birthday bashes. One is too crazy for me to even talk about, but I will say I have been to one of French's birthday bashes.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a yacht in Marina Del Rey one time, and it was the craziest thing. So he had a yacht, and then he had a helicopter drop him off with Iggy Azalea.
I actually DJ'd that party. I remember
You
that.
did? You
I
remember
DJ'd
that one?
party. I remember
You
that.
did? Oh, this is my world. But
And then Diddy pulled up on a side boat.
Diddy
I
pulled up
can't.
on a side boat. Drake was on the boat.
I was excited because we had extra guacamole on my birthday party. They're weird.
Like, I love how
It was
Angie said,
fireworks.
just a small story. Just French, yacht, Marina Del Rey, helicopter, Diddy. No big deal. Well, you know what? We had to bring you on here because you are literally the pulse of the culture. Like, real talk. And it takes a lot for a radio station to say that, because for a long time we were that, right? And now with the internet and the blogs, we have the Shade Room.
Shade Room,
and
baby.
you guys just provide so much content for everybody else, and you're behind a lot of content. So what was the mindset behind this version of the Shade Room? Like, how did it come to be?
You know what? It's crazy because I was working as an accountant for a motorcycle performance shop. And then and I didn't want to be there. Like, I was super depressed, but I knew I've always wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
And so I actually never saw myself in media. Like, if you would have told me, years ago that I would be in media, I would have told you be quiet. Like, that's something I would never even want, know? But I ended up writing a script. My script went to Sundance. Sundance ended up, I ended up getting fired from my job because I was trying to pursue my writing career.
What?
So I got fired, and then during the time that I was fired, I was like, okay, scripts take forever to make money. Like, it takes years to even make a script, to make a movie anyway, right? And so I didn't have any money. My account was in the red, and so all I would do was, all of my friends, this was right after I graduated college, all of my friends were in grad school, law school, and I just would call them like, let me tell you the tea. Chris Brown and Rihanna and Karuchi, that was the time period when they were all in that little triangle or whatever. I was like, and my friends were like, you tell the tea so well. Why don't you just start your own site since you're at home and this is all you do, right? And so I was like, okay. And I didn't know how to make a website. So I just went straight to Instagram and started to blog there. And then literally within the first week and a half, we had 10,000 followers.
Dang.
Yeah, it was like, because it was disrupting in the industry. So people weren't like, when's the last time you went to www. something for news?
It's been a minute.
Facts.
I just Pornhub.com. That's other than that. www.pornhub. That's it.
That's a whole other thing, but okay, but so nobody was going to that anymore, and so we came on social media and we met the people where they were, and so it started going viral because people were like, we've never seen this before, blogging directly on Instagram, and it was 24 hours. It was these short stories, with these short captions that were just easy to digest, and so the second week it was at 35,000, and from there it was a wrap.
Dang.
Wow.
And so was it always called the Shade Room?
Yes. So, it's so funny because people are always like, interpreting what the Shade Room means.
Right.
The first post that I posted was, this is called the Shade Room, but it's really the Truth Room, because sometimes when you say your honest opinions, people misconstrue it as shade. So it was really supposed to be a spin, like, okay, we're going to call it the Shade Room, but it's really where we just say our honest opinions about how we feel about things. You know what I mean? And so that really was the purpose of the name.
Now that the Shade Room has gotten, so big, and that's where everyone goes and gets the news.
Everybody.
Do you find it difficult to be as honest and say the truth as you did at the beginning? Because now you have people who are like, oh, why are you saying that about me? Or why are you, and you're just kind of like, I'm just reporting. I'm doing my job. Do you find it a little bit difficult now because you've made some acquaintances or some friendships that feel like you shouldn't say the truth or the shade?
I have a very small amount of celebrity friends. I think that, when it's hard to have celebrity friends when you're in this business, because they think that because they're your friend, you cannot literally, as soon as I become a celebrity's friend, like they get something crazy happens to them in the media. It's like, and I'm like, oh shoot, So, the Shade Room, I think that for me, when we first started, we were more salacious. Like, it was like, I was younger. I started it when I was 23 years old. So I was young. I wasn't as mature as I am now. I'm 30 now. And so, it was way more salacious, but as the community started to get bigger and bigger, the responsibility became higher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could no longer do what I was doing. Right. And so I tried to, since it started to get bigger, I tried to incorporate fashion and music and politics. And positive images, TSR Morning Inspiration. We talk about God on the Shade Room. Like,
I love those.
The post that has the most comments of all the news that
that was my next question.
Is the post about God. We said something like, if you still believe in Jesus, raise your hand. It got 175,000 comments. Just to give you an example, Nipsey's passing got about 150,000. You know what I'm saying? And so for us, like, you know, we've been able to incorporate just, you know, a wide range of topics, and I've tried to move it to a place where it's more responsible. But, you know, we always gonna get blamed for everything that happens. You know, like, you know, because they gonna call it, you know, but because we're so loud. So when we post something, you guys were talking about, B. Simone was here earlier, and you guys were talking about that clip from your show. We posted
You did that, Angie. It was you.
No. Twitter did that. Twitter did that, and then we picked it up. But it amplifies everything. So when we post it, people are like, "Oh, it's the Shade Room." You know what I mean? But really, it's like everybody's seen it once. Look,
I want to say thank you, because I feel like because you know charisma, there's sometimes that we go viral for some other stuff and it's not on the Shade Room, and I'm like, thank you, charisma. That was all you. You and Angie's connection.
Charisma be writing for y'all. I'm telling you, she be writing for
y'all.
Y'all have good content. Y'all have good content, so it's easy.
Thank you. What I was gonna say was, other than the God post, is Nipsey the post that really had the most interaction, or was it another story?
It was Nipsey. It was Nipsey. After that post, Nipsey was the one that had, and I won't say we were surprised, because we've had Kobe. You know what I mean? Like, there have been, but Nipsey was the most loud and impactful, you know, response from the roommates.
I just had the chills.
Yeah, that was a big. That was unfortunately, that was a big moment here in the West, and I remember I was at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth, not that day. And I remember you guys posted it, and I was just like, wow. Like, you know, and it's funny because I don't want to start no beefs either. Moving on. TMZ and Shade Room, which one do you go to? You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest, like, at this point, something pops off.
You go to the Shade Room.
What happened? Who's got it first? It's TMZ and the Shade Room. Do you feel like right now that is your biggest competition?
You know, I think that, you know, just to talk about the Nipsey thing, we knew Nipsey had passed way before it was posted on TMZ, right? And because I know people who know Nipsey, and so we had that information, but we didn't want to be the first to break that news. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. We had to decide, like, is it important for us to be the first to do this? You know what I mean? Wow. And so for me, like, we literally passed up on that, and we do that a lot when it comes to like death and things of that nature, because we just want to respect the families. But TMZ was, you know, broke that news, and so for me, I feel like TMZ. We are a competition to TMZ. I love Harvey though. Me and Harvey actually. But, you know, like, we cool, you know, but we've become a competition to TMZ because anything Black, right? You know what I mean? Anything that has to do with Black news or the culture is like, people come to the Shade Room now. You know what I mean? And if it's on TMZ, you know, we gonna post about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, so I guess for them it may be, but for us, you know, not really.
Now, you know, that's gonna turn a lot of heads, what you just said about you guys getting the news about Nipsey and deciding that, for the respect out of his family and his people, we're not going to do that. That's gonna shake a lot of people.
But listen, only someone who is involved in the culture and respects the culture understands that it's not important to have the news first. It's important to respect the families. So I feel that. I appreciate that.
Well, we have to, like you said, we have to operate by different rules than TMZ. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to, because we represent the culture. So the moment the culture is like, yo, we don't trust you no more, then you know what I mean? Like, it's done. So we have to abide by different rules.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I first discovered you guys, like, because the name alone, you're like, all right, they up to some shady stuff. But like I said, like being on the morning show and being in radio, like, you look at you guys, and you guys really are about content and good. Is it wholesome content at times? Like, yeah, we can go there with it, but you guys
everything.
Also, you get the balance. That's the word I was looking for. The balance that has become the Shade Room. I think that's going to take you guys to the next level, because 21 million followers.
21 million.
You got your hand on the pulse. No one does it like you guys. So just salute all around. Like, and I know that's your baby. That like we are getting Angie's baby. This is one of her biggest contributions to the world.
It is, absolutely. And I treat it like a baby. And it's like, you know, we're bootstrapping, so we don't take it. You know, I took investment money once, and then I paid it back and bought my equity back. Hey. And like, you know, we don't take it. To me, I'm so protective over it. I can't just sell it. You know what I mean? I can't just, you know, like, you know, I have to make sure that our voice is true to what it is. And anything that can come in and alter that voice, I just won't accept it. So it is my baby. I protect it like a baby for sure.
Anybody? No, I'm not gonna ask you no legal stuff, but like, who comes at your head the most? Like, which artist or influencer, whatever, is on your head the most? Like, would you say like they got beef with the Shade Room?
Well, everybody know Cardi B hates the Shade Room, you know.
Well, there you go.
You know what? I think me and Cardi B are actually, we haven't spoken yet. We were supposed to meet up, right? So we decided that we both wanted to kind of just end
Talk
it.
about it, eh?
Water under the bridge.
But that day, I couldn't make it. It was just like the wrong day, and then we haven't. And we said we were going to reschedule. So I think we're actually in a good place, me and Cardi. But I would say that she has to be the one that hated us the most. But there's been. I mean, come on now, y'all know we'd be caught out.
Okay, with the Cardi thing, with the Cardi thing, and I want to tread lightly. Well, with the Cardi thing, because
Melissa knows the wrath.
Yeah, Melissa's felt the wrath.
She
of
cared
Cardi.
for me too. I didn't do nothing.
Oh, really?
But I guess was it because of like the deal that went down with the two girls in New York? Is that what it was? Was that the story that set her off?
No. The story that set it off was the Azalea Banks, when she was going back and forth with Azalea Banks. I won't talk about the behind the scenes of what happened.
Right.
But
I mean, you can though, because you guys, if y'all the Shade Room, we're the kind of not welly lit room. We're not the not lit room. Let's say not welly lit. You know what I'm saying? So you can throw a little bit over here.
No, I mean, like, it just was, I felt like she felt like the reporting was unfair.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? She felt like the reporting was unfair. It was just a lot going on. She felt like some people on my team hated her or whatever. But to be real with you, I've always liked Cardi. I like everybody. I don't have any reason to hate anybody in the industry because I'm not even a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a part of it.
You are what you are. You are
Listen,
what you are.
The average person doesn't know that this is the face behind the Shade Room.
And can I
like,
just add-
even to
can I
put
just
a
add?
name and say like Angie, you're like, who? You don't know who's behind. You're so invested to the Shade Room, and we didn't even know.
Because I stay behind the scenes, because for me, it's like, I don't want to be famous or anything like that. You know what I mean? So like, I just stay behind the scenes. I don't put myself on the page unless I'm forced to, because I did a panel or something like that. But other than that, I don't, for me, it's not about me. And I never cared to be like the forefront of the brand.
You say that. My last question before you go off, because I know you got a busy ass day because you are Angie from the Shade Room. I know you don't want to be in front of the camera, behind the mic, but you do it so well. Is there ever a point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to venture off into something else? Because you're so young and with all due respect, gorgeous. So is there another avenue for Angie?
Yeah, well, I already have 2 careers, so I'm a screenwriter, right? So
okay. Big money. I'm sorry.
I have a,
sorry about that. Oh, you and your little radio show and your fucking podcast.
You guys should watch my movie. It's on Netflix. It's called Night Comes On.
What's it called?
But also, Night Comes On.
Night Comes On?
You know the main character, the main girl in Power?
Yeah.
The Power Project?
Yeah.
I think it's called. That she's the main character in my movie.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go watch it tonight. I'm gonna go watch it tonight. Hey.
Yeah, it's an indie movie, and it's really slow and introspective. It's about like, it's similar to my life, but not all the way. And then also I just signed on to Universal Pictures for a movie deal with, actually Issa Rae is producing it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people that are listening to this and they're like, wow.
I'm
like,
over here thinking like,
It's a
maybe
fairy
we
tale
should
story, bruh.
because here on Power we
Yeah.
throw things out in the universe. We speak things into existence. So I was like, imagine Angie on TV.
Yeah.
The cup in her, like,
That's what you were
Wendy
thinking?
Williams stats.
No, I was thinking like,
just throw.
I was like, we can get on the show. She can be part of the show. We need 4 people. I was like,
She's making movies, you guys.
TV.
Sorry.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
movie. We're late. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
But I definitely want to do a lot more. We got a lot coming. Like, you talking about podcasts, we got a lot coming. So it's going to be an interesting year next year.
Yes.
You know what? Honestly, it's a pleasure to finally sit down with you. And like Melissa said, we didn't have a face to the Shade Room. Now we do. And the fact that it's somebody who's so driven, that really put in so much thought.
You're an
And
inspiration,
who cares
girl,
about the
for
culture?
sure.
Yeah, an inspiration, what I was going to say, because the fact that you're screenwriting, like, that's a talent that very few people have. And the fact that you've gotten deals, you got something picked up, it's amazing. And so hopefully, you remember us when you see us down the street. And hopefully if we do, if you do catch some tea, you just keep it in the cup. You don't let nobody know.
Yeah, and they come and tell you, hey, Melissa, Teddy, you just...
Hey, definitely. And as a woman, you are definitely goals and inspiration. So thank you, Queen, for all you do for the culture.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me.
Now,
Hey.
honestly, this is one of our favorite guests. Thank you so much. You know, you're always welcome if you ever want to talk about something else that you're getting into, because we would love to be here on
Power
the
106
not,
loves you,
not
girl.
welly lit room. It ain't the shade, it's the shade room of Jace. But thank you so much, Angie, for your time and your energy. And we'll see you soon on
Hey,
your
peace out. Bye, guys.
All right, bye,
Be safe,
Angie.
Angie.
Shade room.
Shade room in the building, Angie.
Yee.
When this fucking beat drop, you already know what fucking time it is.
Now, check it out, y'all.